Hello Airsoft friends, and welcome to this video today, where today I'm going to be chatting to you a little bit about my cheeky Silverback SRS Airwire. Let's do that again. Hello Airsoft friends, and welcome to this video today, where today I'm going to be chatting to you about my Silverback SRS A1 Airsoft Sniper Rifle. Although currently it doesn't have a scope on because it's not going to be going out over the next kind of few game days, because I'm going to be running other sniper rifles instead. But I've got quite a fond relationship, I'd say, with this sniper rifle. I picked it up after watching many a gameplay videos featuring Mustang himself running the SRS A1, and I got it just because it seemed like it was going to be the perfect rifle for my game type. Originally, when I went to buy my SRS A1, I wanted to get one of the shorter sport or covert versions, because the whole point of me getting the SRS was it was a bullpup sniper rifle. It was shorter than your regular rifle, and that meant I could get in all these nooks and crannies nice and easily. It would be easier to maneuver, and yeah, it would allow me to be even sneakier than I already am. By the way, this is the Novrich rifle camo wrap that is currently on the SRS, but it's quite tricky to get on and off, which is why it's currently on there, and I'm not going to take it off for the video. It really does get on there super solidly. Now, you're probably looking at this thinking that it's quite long. It's not short like you said you wanted it to be. You're telling porkies. Well, when I went to buy this one, they literally only had the 26-inch version in stock, and that is the longest version that they do. So I was, impatient, and I was excited, and I was like, you know what? Yes, sir. Give me that rifle, because, I knew that I could shorten it down later if I wanted to. Granted, I'd have to pump more money into it, but I knew that that was an option, and I ended up doing that. So I got the 26-inch version home. It's got the handguard that comes up to here, and if you have the regular outer barrel on it as well, and then the flash hider too, it does come out probably to about here. So an extra 1.5 inches beyond what you can see being the end of the outer barrel at the moment. This kind of like outer barrel / integrated mock suppressor is something that I've designed and made for it. So, it's just to kind of ignore it. I think it looks quite cool, and it matches the camouflage quite nicely. So that's what that is on there. So I thought that this was going to be a great, kind of like solution for a rifle. And the thing is, even though this does seem quite long, it is still shorter than a standard VSR. Here's my Well MB03. There's my SRS. If I put them together and bring them down, you see it is a big difference between the two. The SRS is super, super short compared to the VSR. And in my head, I was like, that's such a good thing, because now it's going to be easier for me to maneuver around inside bushes and trees and stuff while still being able to get kills. It's also worth bearing in mind that the barrel length between these two is quite different. I believe the MB03 has either a 430 or a 470mm barrel, whereas this, the SRS, has got a 630mm barrel, or 680. I'll confirm and let you know. And what that extended barrel length does for you is it allows you to use heavier weight BBs. It allows you to dual creep, so if your field only chronos at, 0.2 gram BBs at 500 FPS, then you're onto a winner. Not that I endorse that, by the way, but if that's the rules of their field, then, go ham, boys. But after a fair few recent conversations with different snipers around the place, my mind is being changed in terms of, how long barrels should be. Like, if you check out this picture here, this is how I used to run the rifle. So it was a short handguard, short outer barrel, and there was a suppressor on the end as well, which again was quite stubby. So in terms of like getting in and out places, it was really good at that. And it still had the same length in a barrel, or slightly longer than this rifle, and it was shorter than my M4, which is absolutely insane when you think about it. But when you look at that picture, you see it's short, and now you see it's super long. So why have I done that? Why have I changed it? Well, I'm a firm believer in wanting to retry old setups that I've had to see if there were benefits, or if there's better performance gains, or things like that. Because I always want to be performing at my optimal performance, and when I had this longer barrel in, oh my days, it was an absolute dream. I remember I was playing at Reforger, and there was half a dude's helmet up above this wall, and I was probably about 70 meters away, and boom, first shot, hit it. It was so good. And I think that was the shot that made me fall in love with this rifle. I think the only problem really with my SRS, well, there's kind of like a few problems with it. The first one is the weight. And it's quite a heavy rifle, and running around with the handguard and the super long outer barrel, it does get quite weighty and quite heavy after a while. And that's why I designed this kind of like integrated mock suppressor slash outer barrel type thing, so I didn't have to use the outer barrel that I had in there before, because that's a lot of metal and it's very weighty, so I'm happy to have lost a lot of that weight. The other thing about the SRS, which I'm a little bit sad about, and to be fair, this isn't the SRS's fault, is that I started to play more with my M4. So instead of running snipers and whatnot, I was having more fun, you know, kind of like being frontline M4 and being a bit more CQB-y. So what that meant for this old girl was that she hit the shelf more often than not, and my M4 was, you know, the main daddy in the operation. And then coming into the mix, the SSG-96 entered the household, the SSG-10 entered the household. I've since got the SSX-303. I've made my little AAP, which I kind of want to run as a sniper main. And I've also got the SSG-10A3 coming as well. So in terms of like sniper primary guns, I've got quite a few of them now. And trying to give them all even, you know, kind of like adequate usage on the battlefield can be a little bit tricky. But I must admit, I did really fall in love with my SRS-A1, and I do want to get it in the field again, and that's why I've been spending some time teching it up, putting the old longer inner barrel in it again so I can run it in that config and see if I do have that fun. One of the key benefits about having a long sniper rifle, granted it's a bit of a drawback if you're trying to like get through trees and bushes and stuff, is when you're actually in the tree or the bush, you can poke your barrel outside of the foliage and you'll still be hidden. When I had this thing set up in its short configuration, it was great because I could run around easily, I could get to the front line, and I could be like a super active forward line combat sniper. I don't want to play like that all the time. I also like to be super sneaky, getting in bush, holding corners, and taking people out without them really being aware. And when I had the super short config, like here, that meant that when I was like in a bush or in a tree or something, I had to be really near the edge of the foliage in order to get the barrel out of it so I could get a shot. And that then kind of brought in inherent problems where I would make extra movement, I would be more visible, be easier to see me, and also because there would be less trees and sticks and stuff in front of me, I'd be easier to get shot. And that's when I started playing with my MV03 here, when I wanted to go back and test out cheapo sniper rifles, where I realized having that extra length is actually a really good thing, because even though this isn't camoed up compared to the SRS at this point in time, because it is super long, I can now stay all the way back here nice and safe, while the end of my barrel, look how bloody long it is. Oh my god, look how long that is. I can literally stay all the way back here and I'm safe and secure miles away. Meanwhile, the end of my barrel is like perched on a branch or something, and I've got a nice clear shot of the enemy and they don't know where I am. Literally, the end of my barrel is just sticking out of the tree or the ferns or what have you, and I'm so far back, I'm so safe. Oh, it's gorgeous. I guess the main point of this video comes down to every single gun has its own personality, its own positives, its own like negatives, and you need to work to use that gun the way that it wants to be used. My SRS in its current configuration is perfect for, you know, getting set up within a tree, within a bush or something, and holding an angle for a long time. Both because it's long, it's got the camo on it now as well, and also it's quite heavy, so trying to lug it around in your arms all day does get quite tiring. When it was in its short config, it was great for being a frontline, you know, first response, like kind of like assault sniper, where you would get to the front line, go with the Jeep, monitor where people are coming from, relay that information back to people, and then kind of like taking out shots when you can do. Granted, it was still quite heavy, so it was a little bit tiring to use, but generally speaking, you're not going to be running around constantly, so everything all, you know, evens out in the end, I suppose, with it. This old boy, on the other hand, it's super light because it's, you know, VSR build, it's all hollow on the inside, and it's super long. So this rifle is really well made for running out, getting into forward positions, getting dug in deep, and then waiting for the enemy to come. Because it's like, you have that faster travel, you have that speed, and you can really get out there fast, and you can give it some welly. Like, you can just hold it there if you want to, and proper go for it, and you're going to get there quickly, and you can get all nestled in. And then, because you've got the super long barrel, you can just poke it out of the trees, just like so, and then when you do have a shot, boom, take it. And if people do find where you are and they have your location, because your barrel is super long and sticking out, you should have enough adequate leaves and sticks and stuff to prevent BBs, or most BBs, from getting through to you anyway. So yeah, when somebody does ask you, you know, what sniper rifle they want to get, it's not just the case of going, get yourself a VSR, get yourself a T10, get yourself an SRS. There's a lot more questions that get thrown into the mix as well. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching this video. Huge shout out to all of my wonderful patrons for supporting month on month. You guys are all amazing. Thank you. You're beautiful people. We are, a little over a week away now from the prize draw, so get ready for that. And if you'd like to enter the prize draw as well, it's still time to. Head over to the link below in the description, join up, and you could be walking away with a Raven EU-17 green gas Glock pistol. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Massive shout as well to the StayFreshShoe Airsoft Discord community. Lots of lovely Airsoft friends in there. So if you want to make some Airsoft friends, join the Discord. They're waiting for you to join them and be a friendly face in there. Ooh. And of course, check out Project Airsoft. Tons of Airsoft accessories, upgrades, and components and things on there for you to enjoy. New items being added very regularly. And something on there to tickle everyone's fancy. Tickle your fancy. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching this video today. Remember to call your hits, and I'll see you in the next one.